Okay, well, look, it says we're live again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. We've just tried to go live, and then it spun around and said we're going live, and then nothing happened. Let's assume that we are live. If you are online with us, and you can click on the live chat and tell us that you're there, because we're having technical problems at this end.
Yeah.
Let's just tell you very briefly what this is going to be about today. Welcome to the Liz and Scats channel, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And la 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 ting. So what are we talking about this week? Diabetes.
Blood test results.
Blood test results. How to tell if you've got type 2 diabetes from your blood test results, like I had. And we'll be showing you by comparing my blood test results from last December, before I started on keto and fasting lifestyle, with the test results that I got last month. And we'll show you what the different readings mean, the HbA1c and the fasting glucose
and the
cholesterol, the different cholesterols.
We'll also be talking about Patreon, and it's my little labour of love that I've been doing over the last 4 weeks or so, 5 weeks, in preparation for the fact that we can actually start earning a little bit of money on the PUP payments now. Mm-hmm. So we've now launched it. That was launched on Monday, and we're going to be telling you a little bit more about that too.
Excellent. And also we'll have a regular section starting this week, which is what's going on with us, what's happening, all of the latest news and updates about our pages. We've got Instagram, and we've got Facebook and now Patreon, and of course the YouTube channel, this channel.
Yeah.
And then finally, Liz will sing you one of her songs, which will be lovely.
Marvellous.
So we'll just continue this time, shall we?
Let's just go.
So, blood test results. Let's just have a quick background of what happened up until the time I had the results in December. I'd been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes about 2 years before that, and my weight had fluctuated quite a lot. I hadn't really been able to control it consistently, and especially in the winter, especially through Christmas and into the new year, could not contain it at all. And I would keep, in spite of being on a reduced carb diet for part of the time, winter was always difficult. I'd always end up eating the wrong things, and I was addicted to sugar. Mm-hmm. Couldn't control it. So let's have a look at what the readings said in December. Need my glasses for this. It always comes through really tiny writing.
Tiny writing is ridiculous.
So first of all, the A1C profile. Oh, it says we're live. Finally says we're live. If you've just joined us, hello. Welcome to the live chat. We've been sitting here chatting for about 5 minutes.
Technical difficulties. We do apologise.
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about the diabetes test results that I had back in December before I started keto and fasting. And if you've got diabetes and you want to say something, you want to ask any questions, then please do go onto the live chat.
Yeah.
Or if you're watching back later, leave a comment below and we'll still talk to you.
Yeah.
So the HbA1c, or the A1c as some people call it, is basically what they call it is like the average of the amount of sugar in your blood for the last 3 months. Should I say glucose in your blood for the last 3 months. Now, we're going to be talking about this in millimoles per litre, or millimoles per mole, it says, for this particular one. If you're in America or just about anywhere else in the world except for UK, Ireland and Australia, I think it is, then you'll have to convert these. But if it helps, we'll tell you that the range, the good range, is between 20 and 42. That's in millimoles per mole. So you'll be able to get the idea that the reading that I had back in December being 59, that was really high, and it was way over the maximum 42 that it should have been. And if you look at the fasting glucose, this is where obviously they tell you not to eat anything from midnight the night before you have your blood test in the morning. And the reading for this basically tells you what your blood glucose is at that moment in the morning after fasting. After fasting, really, if you're not a diabetic, then your blood glucose would go down to a kind of a normal level. And the normal range for this in millimoles per litre is 4.1 to 5.9. And my fasting reading was 9.5, so it had shot way up, and that was way beyond what my reading was the year before as well. So that's when the doctor finally said, danger, warning, warning, danger, Will Smith, whoever it is. That's a sci-fi film joke.
Even though I didn't get that one.
Yeah. I got it. Will Robinson. It's Will Robinson. Yeah. People will tell me off for that. So, cholesterol readings at the time, in December, my total cholesterol was 5.6, and that's over the sort of maximum of 5 that they say is okay. My triglycerides were 2.4, they should have been below 1.7. My cholesterol, my HDL cholesterol was 0.9, and really that should be greater than 1. And my LDL cholesterol was 3.6, and that should be less than 3. So all of those readings pointed to the fact that I was in the danger zone. And I couldn't really argue with that. The doctor said, right, I want you to go on metformin, which is a drug that helps the...
it actually forces the glucose into the cells.
Yeah.
So rather than the insulin making fat out of glucose, the metformin actually forces the glucose with it into your cells, which of course the cells don't want to, because if you're insulin resistant, then the cells have just gone, no, sorry, no more, can't take anymore. And that's why you've got so much blood glucose floating around.
That's it.
Yeah.
So those are the important readings from 19. Just an important thing to realise, it's best to get your results interpreted by medical professionals. It does say on these blood test results, these aren't definitive to tell you whether you've got diabetes or not. You have to read them in conjunction with all of the other readings that they've taken, and they take all kinds of things on there.
So in that respect, they do actually take a bit of an holistic idea about it, but
they do.
Not in the true sense of the word. But
because it's obviously better from a holistic point of view to talk about nutrition, diet, exercise, meditation, mental health, wellness, and your situation, the stress that you might be under, the whole
stress
picture.
Is a huge thing. Massive
So you can
thing.
get that's the best way to get a complete picture of your condition. And if your doctor's good, then he'll do a good history.
Yeah.
So get a good doctor if you haven't got one already. So we've looked at those readings, and what happened to me in the middle of all of this. This was in January. My father died, and then COVID happened, of course, and then the lockdown happened in March, and I suddenly had a greater awareness of my own mortality. And I'm 55 now, although right at this moment my health app says that I'm 54 because I've beaten diabetes and I've got fitter, etc. But anyway, that's for another time. And so we decided that we'd do something at that point, and I started taking the metformin, but I had the side effects, and in a nutshell, stopped doing that and started doing keto and fasting. So leap forward in time to September, and I had more blood test results. So let's compare what the results were in December with what they were in September of this year. Is anyone online yet? Say something to us in the live chat. Give us a wave. Hello. We can't tell at the moment.
No, we're not moving.
There's a 0. Yeah, there's a 0 there saying nobody's online.
No,
but
never mind.
You'll be listening back to it, won't you? We'll
see you
share it
later.
afterwards. We will see you later. I think we cut off a lot of people who are originally watching us.
Yeah, so
And
sorry about that.
They probably don't know we're back online again.
Really sorry.
There we go, yes. Anyway, HbA1c to start with. Remember, I was 59 before, and the range is between 20 and 42. Well, I'd got down to 37 millimoles per mole, so I was well within the range. I was 5 below the maximum, which is fantastic. The fasting glucose, I was 5.9, and 5.9 is right at the top end of the range, but it's the safe range. So, as the doctor said, well, yeah, it's still slightly worrying. You're right at the top end there. Just keep an eye on it. But I understand the diet that you're doing.
And also on keto, your glucose is actually higher in the morning. So
yeah, that's something our doctor probably didn't know.
you wouldn't know that. So.
No. And finally, the cholesterol, which is one thing that the doctor said, oh, this is not good. Your total cholesterol is 7.7, and that's gone up from 5.6 that I was. And let's just tell you all of the readings first, the different little readings, and then we'll explain why they're actually okay. The triglycerides are at 1.4. Now that's within the level, it's less than 1.7, so that's good. The HDL cholesterol, now 1.4, that's above the 1 that it should be. And the LDL cholesterol, 5.7, when it should be below 3, or so they say. Now Liz is going to explain why it's all okay.
Okay, so the thing is, in the UK and Ireland, is that the way they test your cholesterol levels is that they'll take some blood from you and they will go to a laboratory, and rather than spin the blood in a centrifuge, they just look at it as it is. So we've found this out to be the truth, is that is just the way that they do it. Now, if they spin the blood, then you would actually get to see the what they call the oxidized LDL. And now the oxidized LDL is the one we really need to be concerned about. If we have a lot of LDL and then we eat a lot of glucose in our diets, i.e. carbohydrates, sugars, that sort of thing, we are going to get oxidized LDL. And that is because there's a little protein on top of the LDL that is called the APO100, I think, or APB100. Forgive me, scientists everywhere, if I'm wrong. So I'm sorry about that. So there's a little protein on the top of your LDL cholesterol, and that is attacked by sugar or glucose in the blood. So if you're eating a high fat diet and a high carb diet at the same time, and you've got high LDL, then you will have that little protein attacked, and then it gets even smaller. The molecule gets even smaller, and it can actually get through the artery walls and stay there. Then it mixes with all sorts of other things and stays there and gets this sort of like tough macrophage type thing going on, and then you just can't. That's it. It's kind of there, and this is what causes the narrowing of the arteries, which can lead to obviously heart attack and clots and, oh my goodness, all these horrible things. So in this country and in the UK and in Australia, they don't spin the blood. Now what they actually do is they look at the LDL and the HDL, and they guess the middle one, which is actually not really mentioned very much at all. They don't even mention it here, and they guess. So it's really just like a guess, and they don't know if this LDL is the good stuff or the bad stuff. Now, there is a way with these numbers for you to actually be able to figure out whether you're in the danger zone, and this is it. So you take your triglyceride readings and you take your HDL readings. Okay, so whichever those two numbers are. Now, which way around do you do it? Is it HDL divided by?
It's the HDL divided by... No, it's the triglycerides divided by the HDL.
Divided by the HDL.
Because the HDL is supposed to be higher than the triglycerides.
Yes. So
basically, if your HDL is higher than your triglycerides, when you divide it, you get a reading that's less than 1.
Yeah. So if you are below 0.8... After doing this is called the Feldman protocol, and if you are below 0.8, then you are considered in the clear. Now, when I had my test done a couple of weeks before SCATs, my LDL cholesterol was through the roof, and the doctor was considering putting me on statins, of which I went, no, thank you very much, you're very kind, but no. And the reason was because I'd managed to work out the difference between those two, and I was like 0.7 or something, or
yeah, you were 0.7
I couldn't remember.
Something.
So that means that I was in the good zone. So that's fantastic. Triglycerides, if your triglycerides are high, then obviously you need to be sorting that out.
Yeah.
But if you are anywhere below 1.8, then you are okay, or considered to be, obviously if you're over 1, then you need to be watching yourself. If you're like over 1.8, that's when you need to be seriously reconsidering what you're eating, what you're putting in your body.
Yeah. So both my triglycerides and HDL readings were 1.4.
Yeah.
Divide them together, you get 1. So I was just above the safe zone.
So you're in the grey area, but it's okay.
Yeah, the lower end of the grey area, and that's okay because on the next blood test result, we'll keep an eye on it, and I'm sure it'll be below by then.
And of course, there are other factors as well. If you have high blood pressure and if you've had high cholesterol for a number of years, then that's something that you actually need to do. When Scats actually asked the doctor, do they spin the blood? He said no. So they're basically guessing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way that it is, unfortunately, but that's true.
So that's the way to check whether you're still insulin resistant and therefore have the symptoms of diabetes.
Yeah.
Just from those results now, as I said,
not from the cholesterol. Sorry.
Not from the cholesterol, but overall, it's the cholesterol is kind of it's not an absolute guide to that, but it does tell you a lot about where you are, doesn't it?
Yeah,
really?
And also if you have had high cholesterol for a number of years, then you really should be seeking some sort of either medical help or a nutritionist, just to make sure that you can reduce that down, because it's not good to have high cholesterol for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. So talk to us in the comments below. Tell us your blood test results.
Yeah.
And see how they compare with mine.
Yeah, we're starting to come across a lot of people who are amazing in their recovery from insulin resistance, because I'm calling it insulin resistance now because diabetes is just one of the illnesses that you can get. So some amazing recovery stories from insulin resistance. It's been fantastic. Great people.
Yeah. I'm just going to show you a picture. This is what I looked like. This is actually about 4 or 5 years ago because it's taken in the bedroom of the previous house we lived in.
Yeah, but that is you were that big.
I was that big. That's almost exactly the weight I was, I think, when I started, when I had those results taken. So, yeah, you can see all of most of the weight is round my belly, that area there. There's obviously a lot around my neck as well.
Yeah.
Face is a lot bigger, and
you haven't got a neck there.
And some of the fat is in my hair, obviously, and in my beard, which was longer at the time.
Yeah.
So there we go, back to normal.
Yeah.
See, we've gone all high tech this week. I can put pictures up and all kinds of things.
Fancy.
It's great. Yes, I only have 2 though, so we'll make it all fancy next week. We'll have moving things. We'll have birds flying in the background and all kinds of stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
We did have somebody online with us a minute ago, and they've disappeared.
They probably I think there's a still picture, and I think that's why.
No, there's a live picture. This is what's going out live.
Okay. I hope so.
Yeah.
More technical difficulties. Sorry, we're new to this, so
yeah,
forgive us.
Yeah. So what's going on? This is our regular. What's going on, and how can we help you? Kind of section. So that you had an ear infection, didn't you?
I did. Yes. I last week we were doing our 4-day fast, as those of you who watched last week's live stream know, and if you haven't, then do go back and watch the live stream, because it's actually we're kind of in this sort of giddy weirdness of in the middle of a 4-day fast. So I did actually not enjoy the first 2 days at all, and I went to get my ears syringed on the Friday because I was deaf in my right ear here, and I didn't know what was going on, and she syringed, and when after that she said, "Oh, that looks a bit angry in there," and it really, really hurt when she was doing it. And I've had nerve pain from having a biopsy on my thyroid, so I understand what that feels like. But this was second only to that. So I had an ear infection, and they prescribed me some antibiotic ear drops. And things seem to be improving quite well now. So the tinnitus has gone, but that was a bit nasty.
Yeah.
So sorry if anybody else has got earache and feeling under the weather, because I did not feel very well. I'm starting to come out of it now, I think, so that's good.
And we were talking about antibiotics, weren't we? I don't know. We've not done a huge amount of research on this, but
no.
What are the sort of natural antibiotics you can have?
According to Ayurvedic medicine, which is sort of Indian and Tibetan and goes into China somewhat, then you need to look at the alliums, basically. So onions and root vegetables like root spices like ginger and turmeric, which are basically anti-inflammatory and also good for the gut flora, which you need in order to be able to have a good immune system. 70% of your immune system comes from your gut flora, and also your mental health as well. So we need to keep our gut flora really good.
Don't shove any of those things in your ear.
No, please don't do that. But just ingest them. So ginger teas, have some garlic in your food, things like that. Ayurvedic medicine actually tells you not to use garlic and onions in your food regularly because it is medicinal. And so, of course, if you're having it all the time, then when you do actually need it, it's not going to have any effect. But the reason being is that, I've decided I went for some ginger, and I had some ginger and I had some turmeric tea that I made myself in my lovely little glass teapot, which I love. So that worked really well. And I think that really did help. In fact, I think that the fasting actually helped to mask.
Autophagy, was it?
Well, it's the autophagy is great, but it's the CRP levels. The CRP levels are reduced after about 24 hours of fasting, something like that. And that is your one of the inflammatory hormones. So when your CRP is lowered, you're not inflamed. So, of course, by the time I got to Friday, I was like flowing in CRP, and I think it kind of staved it off until Friday. So yeah, interesting.
Cool. So I was going to say, any questions so far, but nothing's appearing in the chat. We'll just carry on. Yeah. We can answer questions later on when you put them in the comments. Yeah. So let's officially launch the Patreon site, shall we?
Yes.
Here we go. You talk about the Patreon site. Yes. Why are we doing this then?
So, Patreon. We have not worked since March the 12th. That was the day that lockdown happened in Ireland. We used to work in community hospitals and for special needs adult daycare centres. I worked in a mental health daycare centre. I also worked in a drug and alcohol rehab centre. Scats was working in schools and in similar situations to myself, and everything just sort of closed their doors, obviously. We're not saying there's no blame here, it's just COVID. Yeah. And obviously they did the right thing by people that they're looking after, and
it's all high risk category basically. Yeah. And a lot of our work, most of our work is close up.
Yeah.
So I have a multisensory theatre company, and you can't do it all from a distance really. Yeah. It's sensory, and some of that involves touching parts of the set and parts of the scenery and some of the puppet characters, etc. And we just cannot do that anymore. So
I've been massaging and things and doing yoga classes and breath work, and
so we decided instead that we wanted to pass on what we've learned about keto and fasting to you, so that we could help people around the world,
as well as using our own skills that we already use, like the aromatherapy and the music therapy and the yoga and the meditation. So all of these things go towards helping people to get healthy.
Yeah. And obviously social media is changing the way that people help each other. So this is a new world, and now you can be part of this growing new community and nurturing of an online sort of health network that this is what we're setting up.
Yeah. So Patreon. For absolutely centuries, there have been people who give money to artists or to creators or people like us, people who want to help others and people who want to create a community in order to support and help people in order to become healthier in body and mind. And that's basically what we want to do. So if you want to become a patron, then you can click onto our website, which is coming up on screen right now.
There it is.
There's the Patreon website. Perhaps we can leave that up for a little while just so people can copy that down. It is basically to do with this channel, but we want to be able to do other things other than this channel. And if you become a patron, then you will be able to receive free monthly emails, and you'll be able to read merchandise, because we have merchandise now, t-shirts and hoodies and mugs and things. Also, we're going to be doing yoga and meditation classes and videos of the same. And we're also, if you go into the top category, because there's 4 tiers of donations that you can give to us. The top donation includes, after 3 months, then we will write you a song.
We will, yeah.
And
record it for you.
Record it for you and send it to you, or whatever you want us to do. I mean, obviously we can't come and perform it for you, but we'll be able to at least, or you can write it for a friend if you've got a special birthday, an anniversary coming up maybe, and you want to do something special. You can't take your beautiful wife out for dinner. Maybe you could write her a song, or you can write him a song, whatever. So that's a really nice way of doing it. But there's going to be an awful lot of things. So if you look on that, and let me just do this. La la la. Now I understand how difficult it is on Strictly when they do this. Yes, so when you click onto that, then you will come, and there will be a link in the description anyway.
Yeah. Don't click on the screen on
no,
that.
don't click on the screen because that won't happen.
That's just a picture.
It's just to show you, darlings. So yes, we would love for you to go and have a look. It's prices start at €5 a month and go all the way up to, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
You'll find out when you go on there.
It's been the last time I looked at it was Sunday because I was just like head was exploding from it. So we've come up with some really great ideas. There's a lot of discounts on the merchandise, which of course are great gift ideas because it's coming up to Halloween and Thanksgiving and also Christmas, and there are t-shirts and hoodies and stuff on there for that. So you can get lots of really groovy discounts there, and also you'll be able to come, even live chats with us to help support you.
Yes, one-on-ones, one-to-ones, or one-to-twos.
Yeah, one to
or
two.
You could speak to just one of us or both of us if you want.
You might not want to speak to me, you just want to speak to Scat, so that's fine as well. So yeah, that's what we're doing, and it's just a way for us to make a little bit of money. And now the government has elected to say that yes, we can finally subsidise our payments. So
yes, just at the same time as they're shutting down the country at midnight tonight.
Lockdown again.
Dear.
Yes. So we've gone back into lockdown here in Ireland, complete lockdown. The only thing that's different this time is that the schools are still going and the colleges are still going, and that's about it. No businesses are open. It's just
you can step out of the gate, but then you've got to stay there for 2 seconds and then come back in.
And I thought you were going to say you got 14 days and then you can come back in.
Yes, that's it. You can isolate yourself on the street.
Yeah, so it's got a bit hairy here again. The R number's very high. So this is even more reason to take on a keto and fasting lifestyle, because actually if you lose the weight around your visceral organs, you stand a much better chance of being able to not have any serious repercussions from the COVID virus, as well as all other viruses too. It's not just COVID.
Indeed. So that's it. That's the Patreon channel.
Indeed.
And make sure you subscribe and click on the bell.
Yes,
Ding!
please.
If you haven't already done so. We're now going to get Liz to sing a song.
Oh, is it time?
Yes, why not? We've been going for 25 minutes already. That's plus the first 10 minutes that we did.
We were just muttering away to ourselves for ages on end.
Yeah, oh, sorry about the squeaking there.
Squeaky.
I'm going to turn around a little bit this way.
Okay.
So that we can I'll play my guitar as well. And I hope the sound is fine for you. I did 2 streams over the last 2 days just to check the sound, and apparently the sound was really low, but the picture was okay. There we go.
Oh, I've just dropped the collector into the sound hole. No, I haven't.
No, it's there.
Okay. The beauty of live.
I'm going to twist around this way so we don't collide.
So this is a song that I wrote for when we did a gig. Scats and I did a gig in this pub in Blaby in Leicestershire, and it was a very odd setup. I won't go into too much detail, but suffice it to say that the people who owned the pub, the landlord and the landlady, had this really odd relationship that I just couldn't get my head around. They just seemed to really enjoy arguing with one another and shouting and screaming at one another. They seemed to thrive on the aggression in the relationship, and I just didn't understand that. So I wrote a song about it. This is called The Fishwife and Landlord. great civil war. So love like you do, fish wife and landlord who've lost track of the score. And he may be drunk as the Lord, Lord of his land, but she is the master of his sea. And he may be drunk as the Lord, Lord of his land, but she is the master of his Lovely.
How delightful. Well, that's just about the end for us this evening. Sorry about the mix-up earlier, and I hope that some of you watched this particular one later. I think we cut loads of people off earlier.
Sorry about that.
So, anyway,
Nothing we could do, unfortunately. So,
no, we'll be back
yeah,
same time next week, and we'll get the technical side right.
I know. We're not doing very well on the tech. Just to let you know that there's another video coming out tomorrow. That's going to be on omega 3, 6 and 9. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe Friday. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, because tomorrow we have to take poor old Pippity Scatterdog back to the vet.
Yes, poor Pippity.
She's got a poorly eye.
Is she getting better?
I don't think there's much change, unfortunately.
Not enough change, no.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what the vet says tomorrow. So hopefully they'll let us through.
Yeah, they will do. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think
medical
vets
appointments are fine.
Vets is okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Nice to see you all, and thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next week at 8 o'clock.
Peace, love, and burps.
Bye bye.
Bye bye for now.